Hi, this is Vicki with the blog About Ordinary Women. On my Facebook page, I had a couple of people request for me to do some of the Christmas ornaments that I did this winter. So this is going to be the first one. I'm going to probably do one more unless more requests are made. This is a very beautiful, elegant ornament cover, but it is pretty simple to make. Any beginner could do this easily. This is actually made in two parts. We're going to net down the first part, and then we're going to net down again to do a second layer. Gives it almost a 3D look. We're going to get our supplies together and we're going to get started. The supplies you are going to need are some 11/0 seed beads. I'm using checks, but you can use any type of 11/0 you would like to use. I'd kind of stay away from the delicas, but other than that, it's pretty open. You're going to want to have some 8/0 seed beads. I'm using dynamite, but like I said, with the 11/0s, it's pretty open. I'd stay away from the delicas. You're going to need some 4mm bicone crystals. You can use rounds, bicones, whatever your heart desires. You can also switch up the beads here and go with the 3mm. You're going to need some type of drop bead. I'm going to be using a dagger today, but you can use any form of drop bead as long as it looks good with your project. You are going to need a beading needle, size 10. You will need thread and thread conditioner. I'm using Nymo. I believe it's B. Thread conditioner, I'm just using some standard old beeswax. You're going to need some scissors to cut your thread. You're going to need your ball ornament. This is a 70mm ball ornament. If you go smaller, you're going to have to change your bead counts. So let's get our supplies together and let's get started. Okay, you need to get your thread conditioned really well, and you want to thread about 4 to 5 feet. You will be adding thread because this is a two-part thing that I will explain here in a minute. I went already strung on my first row of beads. You're going to want an 8/0, 4 11/0s, an 8/0, 4 11/0s, an 8/0, 4 11/0s. Continue this pattern until you get 10 8/0s. You can, if you want a little bit more open one, you can go with 8s, but always make sure you have an even number here, or this pattern I'm getting ready to show you will not work. I like to check, make sure that I've got enough space around my ornament ball, so I just string it up like that. Take my ornament ball, sorry for reaching across there, and then just kind of put it around here and see how much room I've got. You see that well? I've got a little bit of playroom there. It's not so snug that I couldn't get it off once it was on, because you want to be able to remove this cover because this is a cover. This is not a permanently attached to the ornament. I've been known to change color on balls, and I figure a lot of people out there are too. Sorry for going across you again. You want to start with an 8/0. You want to end with the 4 11/0s. Drop it down. Drop your beads down to the end. You want to leave yourself about a 6 to an 8-inch tail. The reason being is you need to be able to tie back in with your tail, but also so you know where your tail is, so when you get ready to add your new thread, this is where you're going to add it. You're going to add it right in this ring, and you need to know where your knots are at. So get down there, and then you can just take a knot, tie it in a good strong knot. I'm using a surgeon's knot, and then I will do some half-hitch knots working around. Make sure you don't get any of your beads caught up in there. Over, under, over, under. Now I recommend you go ahead and just go through a few of seed beads and then do a couple small half-hitch knots. I would go right below, right after the 8/0, because you are going to be using this 8/0. You will not be using the 11/0 seed beads for anything in this project except for decoration purposes. And like I said, do a little half-hitch knot, at least one in here. See which bead I'm coming out of there. Hope I don't get my head into the camera. You don't need to do too many because you're going to thread on here and retie again at the end of the project. Try not to go through your thread like I just did. You just want to keep it somewhat secure. Don't catch any of your beads. Move around till you're coming out of an 8/0 seed bead. Any of the 8/0s will work. But you want to be coming out of an 8/0 seed bead, right here. We're going to start our first round. You're going to pick up 2 11/0s, a bicone, and then 2 11/0s. And pass just through the 8/0, not through any of the 11/0 seed beads. And pull snug. We're going to be doing this all the way around. 2 11/0s, a bicone, 2 11/0s. Pass just through the 8/0. Pull snug. Okay, do that all the way around and we'll be right back. Okay, we're ready to add the last beads for this round. Go into the 8/0 you started on. Do not go through any seed beads at this point. Just the 8/0. Now you're going to travel down and you're going to come out this bicone. This is standard like any netting. It won't change up until after we finish the next round. Trying to keep my fingers and everything out of your way so you can see. Okay, I'm going to be using 8/0s every other one. So I add bicones here. The next ones we are going to be adding 8/0s, and then the next row is going to be bicones. That's going to be my pattern all the way until I get to my dagger beads. You can, if you would like to, just add bicones all the way down, or just 8/0s all the way down. It works perfectly fine. This one you're going to pick up 3 11/0s, an 8/0, and then 3 11/0s. And we're going to do this just like we did the last round, except for we're going to be going through a bicone instead of an 8/0. And pull it snug. We're going to start adding beads because our ornament, let me get this on here, hopefully I don't mess you up on seeing it. You're going to start moving down your ornament because you're starting to go down now, and we're starting to spread it out a little bit. And it's a good idea to try your piece on your ornament regularly so you like the look, because if you want to change anything, you want to change it in the process and not to after you've tied off in the end and put it on the ball. So 3 11/0s, an 8/0, 3 11/0s, and travel through the next bicone alone. And I will be back when we finish this round. Okay, this round is completed. Go through the bicone you originally started off, travel down through the seed beads, and come out the 8/0. This is where things are going to change a little bit from your standard netting. And we're ready for our bicone round. So we're going to pick up 10 11-0 seed beads. That's 6. 10 11-0 seed beads. Bicone, crystal, 10 more 11-0 seed beads. And this is your pattern for the entire round, this entire round. Drop those down a little bit. So remember, it's 10 11-0s, bicone, 10 11-0s. That's going to be the pattern all the way around. You are not going into this 8-0 bicone. I mean 8-0 seed bead. You're going to skip this one and go through this 8-0 seed bead. You're going to do that all the way around. You're going to skip the middle 8-0. You're going to pick up 10 more 11-0s, a bicone, 10 more 11-0s, travel through the next seed bead from the one you skip. So you go come out this 8-0, skip this 8-0, go into this 8-0. You're going to skip this 8-0 and go into this 8-0. Skip this one, go into the next one. We're going to do that all the way around. Okay, we're ready to travel back into the last 8-0 seed bead. I'm going to spread this out and let you guys give a look at it. This is what it should look like. I know it's kind of curling up here a little bit, but once the weight of the beads get on it, it will flatten out. And you're going to be missing it in every other one. This is where we're going to bring in a thread, and we're going to come and finish this off and go back down our ornament again. The rest of this now, we're just going to continue like we've been doing, except we're not skipping any more beads on this. I'm going to call it half of the ornament. This half of the ornament, we're not going to be skipping any more beads. We're going to treat it just like a standard netting. Okay, this next round, we are adding 12 11-0 seed beads, 1 8-0, and 12 11-0, since we are on the 8-0 round. And just go through the next bicone and do that all the way around. I'll be back for the next section. I'm just going to come back and give you the bead count for each one of these, because otherwise, I mean, you know what to do now. You do your bead count, you go into this one. And you're going to do that to finish up the rounds here. When we get closer to the end where we're adding the daggers, I will show you where I tie off at and where we come back in and add thread at. And we'll start this all over again. Kind of. Okay, the bead count for this one is 16 11-0s, a 4mm bicone, and 16 11-0s. You're going to tag into each 8-0 with those beads. I'll be back when we get closer, and this is also a good time, I didn't even think about that, to go ahead and try it on your ornament and see how it's looking for you. But if you'll notice that where it was kind of bubbly up here, the weight of the beads is actually starting to pull it down now. And that's going to happen as we get closer, more and more beads onto this ornament cover. I'll be right back when we are ready for the next round. Okay, experienced beaders might want to go ahead and just kind of keep the flash points. Or look, I'm going to have the bead count down in the description box. Look down there and move on till we get ready to come back up and add more thread. For beginners, I'm going to go through each additional round of the bead count. And the next one is, let me get my other thing moved out of the way, is 20 11-0 seed beads, an 8-0, and 20 11-0 seed beads and go through the next bicone. You're going to do this all the way around. Some of you are going to find it more comfortable to work on the ornament at this point. I don't until I get ready to do the second half, and then I find it more comfortable to work off of the ornament. You can try it. If you like it, great. If you don't, that's cool too. But when you lay this out flat like this, it starts to get rather confusing looking. I'm going to show you my other one. It really starts to get confusing where you need to go. But when it's on the ornament, it all lays down like it's supposed to, and you don't get nowhere near as confused. So, like I said, you might want to consider start working off the ornament at this point, or you can wait until and just work it off of it the second round. I'll be back with the next bead counts when we finish this round. Okay, we are on our last round for this half. So you're going to want to add 24 11-0 seed beads. Let me make sure I'm in focus here. You're going to want to add your dagger or your drop bead, your last bead that you're wanting to add as far as the hang down. You're going to want to add 24 more, and you're going to do it just like you did before. And you notice I'm working off my ornament now, because I've snugged things up and I'm trying to get my ornament working off my ornament. Go through the next center bead here. Just finish this round and tie off. What I like to do is, since these seed beads and actually these bicones and all this is not going to be used again, you can tie off anywhere in here, whatever you're comfortable about doing. And then we're going to get a new length of thread and add back onto the top and work down the other half of the ornament. Okay, you need to add some new thread in. The best way to do this is to take it back off your ornament. Find the thread, the tail thread that you started with. That'll give you a good idea where you placed your knots in here. Try to go right past your knots and then tie in there. You're going to want to come out of an 8-0, but you're going to have to find out which 8-0 you need to come out of. You need to look down at your first empty 8-0 that has nothing hanging off of it. Trace your thread path back up. So my thread path comes up these 3 seed beads. It comes through this bicone. Well, and if I trace it right back up, these 2 seed beads, here's my 8-0 I need to come out of. It does not matter which one of these 8-0s you come out of, as long as you can get to one of the empty 8-0s. And then just follow a thread path to get down to where you're coming out of an 8-0. Which I'm going to go through my bicone. I'm going to go through my 3 seed beads. And hopefully not get my tails caught up in my thread. And I'm going to come out my 8-0 bicone. Now basically we're going to be starting the patterns we just did. We're going to start out with the 10 seed beads, the bicone, and 10 seed beads. So let me get these on here. Bicone. And my 10 seed beads. 5. Now I'm going to show you why this is better to do this half on the ornament. So I'm going to place it back on my ornament. Give me a second here. I'll try to not do this in the middle there. Okay, find out where my thread's coming out of. Okay. Now hopefully you guys can see this. I may have to zoom out just a little bit. Okay. Okay, you're coming out of this 8-0. What we're going to want to get to is this 8-0. But we're not going to want to just swing it. You go over this one, you slide underneath this one. And this is how we're going to do it all the way down to the bottom again. Over, under. I'm going to come into this 8-0. Just pass through the 8-0. Pull everything snug. You're doing an under-over thing. It gives it almost a three-dimensional look to your ornament. Sorry, I got caught up in my scissors there. We're going to add 10 11-0 seed beads. It's 5, 6, 7, a bicone. We're going to add 10 more 11-0 seed beads. We're going to go over these beads. We're going to go under these beads. And we're going to come in and go through. I got my original threads there. Go through the 8-0 seed bead and pull snug. All the way to the bottom, we're going to do an under-over method to where you're going over this line of beads, you're going under this line of beads. And it gives it a three-dimensional look. Every other one is going to be like that. Now we're going to just basically go back to our original pattern we had. The only change is the over-under and how you put them in there. You go over this one, under this one. You're going to come back into this one and then travel to this bicone. Okay, well, I'm going to let you guys go on your own now. In the description box below, let me get this right here, I will have wrote down each one of the rows that we're doing, and I believe there's got a total of 14 rows. Rows 10 through 14 are the exact same as rows 5 through 6. The only difference between 10 through 14 is the under-over method. I'm going to come back at the end and show you when it's all done. Okay, this is a finished cover. It's quite beautiful and it's quite elegant. You can use any kind of beads you want. It's pretty open here, really it is. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Come visit me on Facebook. Check me out. Check out my blog about ordinarywomen.com. Be creative. Have fun, ladies and gentlemen. Catch you on the next video.